I want to shift over to what we're seeing play out as we got another day, another cyber attack to discuss here. This time, Transnet's port in South Africa temporarily shutting down operations there, triggering some flashbacks to what played out here in the U.S., the cyber attack on the Colonial Pipeline. And today, a Senate Judiciary panel assessing the threats, the growing cyber threats facing the U.S. And Yahoo Finance's Jessica Smith has been watching that one play out for us and has the details there. Jess?
Yeah, Zach, officials from the Department of Justice, FBI, the Secret Service, CISA, all testified about the problem of ransomware attacks and what Congress can do about it. Senators are trying to figure out what sort of legislation is needed here. And one of the things that these experts and officials brought up several times was the importance of increased reporting. They made the case that Congress should require certain organizations to report if they have been attacked, if there has been a cyber attack. They say that would help them help the victims. It would help them understand the threat, develop alerts, and just understand, again, the scope of what exactly is going on. Another issue that many of the senators brought up quite a few times was about cryptocurrencies and the role that crypto might play in ransomware attacks. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse said he was angry about this situation. He specifically cited Colonial Pipeline, and he argued that companies with critical infrastructure should have to meet high standards of cybersecurity. Let's watch.
We now have a situation in which you can have critical infrastructure companies fail at meeting basic standards of cyber hygiene, and we're okay with that. As a legal matter, we're okay with that. We shouldn't be okay with that. We don't have to regulate everybody in the world, but if you're critical infrastructure, we should no longer tolerate this voluntary regime with big companies who know that their infrastructure is critical and who fail.
Now, some of the other suggestions that were brought up today include strengthening the Department of Justice's ability to prosecute these kinds of cases and strengthening their ability to stop the crimes before they actually happen. So there are actually some bipartisan ideas floating around on the Hill, so we'll keep you updated on what moves forward in this space. Zach Nikiko.
And just separate from that discussion, we've got the House Select Committee that's investigating the January 6th attack, holding its first hearing today. A number of Capitol Police officers testifying there, too. What have we heard so far?
Yeah, Kiko, it's been a pretty emotional hearing. We saw several lawmakers and the officers tearing up as they reflected about that day. The officers have been describing their experience during the insurrection, calling the mob nothing short of brutal. The officers said they were crushed, beaten, and tased by the Trump supporters that stormed the Capitol. Now, the goal of this committee is to get to the bottom of what happened on January 6th and ensure it does not happen again. The officers told lawmakers that there's no way to move on without accountability, and there's no way to move on if they know it could happen again. They say it's important for Americans to understand exactly what happened that day. Now, many Republicans are bashing this committee, calling it partisan. Speaker Pelosi did shut down 2 of Minority Leader McCarthy's picks for this panel because of all of their rhetoric around January 6th. That prompted McCarthy to pull all of the Republicans off. But we should note Speaker Pelosi did put 2 Republicans on this panel herself, and this panel only exists because Senate Republicans failed to pass legislation that would establish an independent bipartisan committee. The lawmakers on this panel today said they would not give ground to the lie that Trump won the election or let members of Congress whitewash what happened on that day. So we'll keep an eye on this investigation as this goes forward. Again, this is the first hearing that this committee has had.
Yahoo Finance's Jessica Smith bringing us the latest there. Appreciate that.